Hi folks, I've just painted up some British Dragoons for the Napoleonic Wars. They're actually front rank miniatures, and I don't know if it feels funny saying a client or someone that I know well bought these at Crusade in Penarth and just wanted me to tap them up a bit. The riders hadn't been painted, but the horses had been, but the horses were looking a little sad. They were so the horses that were originally painted, and you can still see, are the ones in a sort of I think people do them with do they do them with enamel? Oh no, it's oils, I think, oils and thinners and things, and they're sort of there, those sort of horses. Three of them were so bad that I had to repaint them completely, so I chose these two, and that's just a nice grey and a bit of a black. These haven't been matted down for the last time, so if you see the gloss, it's not going to be like that when they get sent off. But, the riders are naturally a bit more matte because they've all had acrylic paints on them, not no oils or anything. And then a black horse there, because these horses were very heavily chipped and things, and lots of bare metal, so some of them needed heavier work than others, really. But yeah, I just charged Graham for the riders for the most part, because there wasn't much work to be done on the horses, if I'm honest. I went in with horsehair and did the reins on the leather, even on the ones that I left, because that just spruced things up a bit, and that's where a lot of the wear and tear was anyway. I don't know if they've ever been gamed with, but yeah, it hadn't stood the test of time, the original paint, so it was wearing down. I quite like tarting things up, it's quite nice. And yeah, they're a nice unit for sure. Front rank miniatures. Now this was probably my first experience of front rank figures, I think. Can't remember painting up any front rank before. I might have done some, I don't know if the 7 Years' War stuff might have been American War of Independence, French Indian War, something like that. I might have done those, but I think they might have been Eagle figures as well. So yeah, they're quite nice and chunky. They do paint up nicely. There's like a minimum, I think there's only one like actual face times 12 in this unit, which is a bit sad compared with Perry, where like every figure has got a bit of a personality, and but then there's something to be said with this sort of old school look as well. So I think a lot of the old boys will like who might have come up with the really old sort of style of figures like Old Glory and Hinchcliffe and that sort of thing. That's how it was done back then. So then these are sort of continuation of that tradition, I suppose. So yeah, very nice. Took my time on these, especially on the riders. I just wanted to paint all the little details, all the metal work, so the clasps and things, and I think the gold braid there has just been done. I'm not sure if it was. It might just be yellow braid. As far as I can see from reference pictures, it is just yellow braid. So just about see. Actually, I'm not going to pick them up and show the details. It's not the finest work that I've ever done. But yeah, it was meant as a wargaming piece, and I have spent some time on them. So I think I've achieved that, and maybe a little bit more as well. So happy with them, and you know, you are looking at them from distance as they're riding along. I think they look very passable. It's just painting battalions and squadrons of cavalry and things. It's just a matter of doing consistent work, I think, on a lot of figures. So you've got these 12, just paint those up, paint up everything, you know, in the same way, and then just add variations where you can, maybe some different coloured trousers, or like these have had black hair, dark brown hair, some auburn. So it's just little things like that, and spend, you know, layer painting maybe, and some highlights. It's all good. So that's the battalion. That's I say battalion, squadron, I should say. It's heading off to Graham and Cardiff. Those will be going off in the post tomorrow. They just need a final coat of matte varnish, and hopefully Graham can find a flag for the standard bearer, Fanion. The officer is particularly nice. Yeah, they're meant to be pre-1812 dragoons apparently. And the only other thing I have to show you that's sort of completed, they haven't been based up yet, are these rather nice foundry figures. These are going to front some of my light infantry battalions. So there's a fair few there, 10 figures, and these have been painted up quite carefully by myself. So there we go. They're all in dark blue, light infantry battalion skirmishers. And yeah, they're some of the last foundry metals I have. The only foundry metals I have left, I bought an awful lot of them over the summer. Some crew for cannons, so I might do some artillery pieces next. It's a toss-up between doing those and some Russians now. I could start on the Russians. I've got some Russian stuff, including Kutuzov, is it? I'll have to work on my pronunciation of Russian names in the coming years. Yes, I do have a box. I think there was 44 figures, just seeing that off to the side there. I might be able to do 2 small battalions of Russians there, and see if I can't use some of these, metal Perry figures I bought as well. Actually, if bear with me for five seconds. Some rather nice Perry metals. Hopefully the battery holds up for the duration of this video. You can always depend on me to be unorganised. And charging up the battery is something I seem to forget. FN1. These are your French staff officers, and Napoleon's in there as well. Very nice. So this is a sort of unboxing at the end of the video, I suppose. You're probably familiar with these. You've probably seen people paint them up. Hopefully I can do them justice. These have got your marshals, so this is your very high level officers. They're not actually that suitable for 28mm games, just because you're not going to involve core level actions, are you? But there's a lovely Napoleon. You can never have too many Napoleons. And there's a rather nice Hussar officer. He looks like a Hussar to me. Maybe I'm sure someone will correct me. Very nice indeed. And and there's a map to be put on a table as well, so that's going to paint up a real nice treat. Again, Perry metals, can't complain. I've got some more Perry metals coming in the post because I'm thinking of doing American Civil War. Now you're probably all going to be frustrated that I'm starting yet another project, but you'll have to bear with me. I've already had 3 artillery pieces in the post, and those are actually painted. I had a bit of a deal on those, so those are painted and no need to spend time on them. Just need to paint up some Confederates. I have done some in the past, so I'm quite familiar with painting up like butternut colours and things, and greys, some mottled browns and things. And I'll have to watch another marathon of Gods and Generals in Gettysburg. And Glory, I'm a big fan of that film. And I'd love to paint up a black regiment. That would be really good. I know that Perry do the separate metal heads. Should be a really good idea. Now these are the Russian staff officers. Now these are in all their pomp and fantastic hats and uniform. Don't know if it's blasphemy if me just peel off some of these into... No, they're all in standing poses, unfortunately. I was wondering whether I could use them for some of the marching battalions for some nicer figures for the officers. I know that some Perry Metals packs, and I do like them, they're just battalions just in standing, which is quite nice. It's like a different pose, you know, you're not marching, you're not charging anything, or shooting. Yeah, it's especially good with the old guard, where they're just in your reserves, and maybe they're not moving a lot for the most of the battle. You can just have them there standing, and or resting on packs and things. It can look really good. And there's another metal pack of cuirassiers where they're just resting on their horses, and I hope to pick those up in the, well, maybe next year or 2. Yeah, it's I think I'll have to scale down my Borodino ambitions, and definitely not going to be like collecting every regiment that served there. But I think if I can like focus down on one area of the battle, maybe attack on the redoubts or something, I could do the, a load of French line infantry and a block of cuirassiers, and then maybe build up the redoubt with some polystyrene and things, you know, have a bit of a clash, but then focus down, you know, what do I actually need? You know, you're not going to be able to paint up every regiment, it's just impossible. And even within those regiments you had, what, 5 or 6 battalions or something, so it's just mad. So yeah, I'm going to have to rethink, go home and rethink my life. Yeah, and yeah, looking forward to all this now. You've already seen the Old Guard Battalion. They're still in need of some highlights, so I'm going to work on those and I hopefully show you those in the coming days now. So I hope you all have a nice Sunday afternoon with Storm Dennis, and hope there's not too much carnage around the country, and yeah, I'll catch up with you again soon, folks. All the best. Ta-da.